In general, the treatment is much better than it used to be in the past. We now have a number of drugs that are effective in reducing blood pressure. But the problem is that the same tablet doesn't work for everybody. And many people can go through a year or two until they find the right medicines. And during that time, they're at risk of strokes, they're at risk of the side effects of the drugs. It's very much to find a biomarker, something in the blood that you can measure that tells people how to match you with that particular drug without having to go through the months of taking it to find out whether it works or not. Initially, we're going to use the twin research cohort to tease apart which microbes might be associated with people with high blood pressure or people who respond differently to a certain medication. And then once we've found that, we'll put that knowledge into the patients. The twin cohort, they're all volunteers. They come from all over the United Kingdom. The average age is around 60, which is one of the peak times for hypertension. And they're representative of the UK. We've been studying these twins for nearly 25 years, and we have their blood pressures measured every 3 years or so. And we know how they respond differently to these medicines. And with being twins, we have the ability to look at the genetics and also lifestyle factors and separate them out really well. So they're the perfect group. These are the best studied people on the planet, and therefore using them is a great advantage to this study. The microbiome is extremely exciting new field because everybody's very different, even identical twins. And we know that they're responsible for metabolizing, breaking down many of the drugs in our body, and also some of the foods and nutrients. It's quite possible that these gut microbes, the differences between people, are responsible why some people get a good effect on their drug and others get side effects. We don't know not much about it, but this is one of the exciting parts of the study we're going to look at. I think most people have only a rudimentary understanding about diet and blood pressure, and actually most doctors only have a rudimentary understanding of nutrition and diet because we weren't taught very much. We know that diet is important in blood pressure, and so far the main ingredient people have found has been the salt content. As well as salt, we're going to find other things as well, and some people have hinted that different amounts of protein and fats can also be important. And I think we're beginning to understand the importance of things like fiber and the importance of diversity of the foods and the polyphenols, which have antioxidant effects. All this stuff is pretty new, but now we know that the microbes respond to this. We can now measure those. We have much better tools to look at it. So I'm very optimistic about the future. Hopefully at the end of this, we'll be able to give much better advice about what someone's optimum diet is to keep their blood pressure low. If we look a few years ahead, I see a very different future for a medical visit for personalized medicine. The patient will give a urine sample, a saliva sample, a blood sample, and probably also a stool sample, a poo sample. The doctor will send that off, and by looking at all these things with the new technologies, come back with a magic formula that will say, you know what, this is exactly the sort of diet you need, this is what you should be cutting out or increasing in your food or your drink, and these are the tablets you should start with, which have the best chance of giving you the best result with the less side effects. That's definitely the future, and that is why this whole era of personalized medicine is so exciting.